RI.com. That's your website for all your local entertainment needs, upcoming events. If you want to get some information on there, you can hit us up on My Night Out Radio at Verizon.net. Also, check us out on Facebook, My Night Out Radio, My Night Out RI. That are two different Facebook pages. Another place I got to bring up. I was out on the motorcycle and I had a little mechanical issue. We'll call it that, and I had to stop in Connecticut. Do you know what's in Connecticut besides trees? Yeah, someone with a banjo, a lot of trees, and a few motorcycle shops. Luckily, near the motorcycle shop I had to stop at, there was a place called Raging Taco. It sounds bizarre. It's not, tree taco shop. It doesn't sound normal, but the food there, I got to say, it was out of this world. It's a little weird to go, the rednecks out in Connecticut with the traditional Mexican garb that you would see at a cantina. But the food, I did have tacos. I had empanadas. Both of them are very good. They're on Route 12, is the best I can tell you, somewhere between Plainfield and Central Village, Connecticut. If you find it from there, definitely email us back at MyNightOutRadio, all one word, at Verizon.net. Another thing, if you have a recommendation for us, if you want us to check out your restaurant, or there's a restaurant that you go to that you think we should be at, definitely hit us up. My Night Out Radio at Verizon.net. I've said that about 3 or 4 times by now.
And I got to say, speaking of My Night Out, RI.com, a guest you had a few weeks ago, I really got to tip the hat to the people at Tasting New England. It is a fantastic website. I don't know how to cook, but there's a bunch of great recipes up there, and they are really on track to becoming another Yelp. Since you had them in, I've been going on that website on the regular for food stuff.
Oh, I've checked them out quite a bit. That was Mike and Marianne from Tasting New England. They're based out of East Providence. They are literally traveling all over New England, not unlike myself. The only difference is I try to keep closer to home, Rhode Island, just parts of Connecticut. They have reviews all the way out to Maine, all the New England states, and they were fun people to talk to while they were here. Rachel's just coming back now, not to embarrass anybody.
I was getting this guy's number.
That happens in West Warwick. If it was the guy by the dumpster, his name is Pookie. Don't call the number. That's the police station. So, Rachel, yes. I got to ask now that you're here. Okay. I listened to you earlier on Tony's show while I was on my way in.
Oh yeah.
Briefly, how did you get involved in writing?
Very briefly, because I felt like I needed to purge. I was involved with a defense contracting company, and when I left that, I wanted to fix the things that I saw wrong there, and I chose to get involved with politics, and then that was a horrible. Can I swear?
Not really. We try not to.
It was a bad scene, and it really made me realize that a lot of people don't see a lot of the things that I was able to see, so I wanted to let people know about this. And I figured the best way to let people know about it was through first, the only thing I know how to do is to write. I mean, I'm a painter, but I figured to communicate with more people would be to write something and to make it somewhat funny, so that people would read the story and laugh sometimes while they're absorbing these facts.
So basically the books that you have now
are fiction.
You have the first book, which is Little Yellow Stickers.
Stickies,
sorry.
Yes, that's okay.
Bubbles Will Pop
is the second book.
And you have The Big Show.
The Big Show.
Coming out
September 1st.
Very good. Now, what you're saying is all these books are based on...
very much on my real-life experiences.
But you've added and embellished.
I've fictionalized them, meaning I've changed names and skewed locations. But most of what you read in these books, actually, I've experienced. I've embellished when you're able to put it under fiction, you're able to like embellish whatever you want to make it funnier or whatever. But most everything you read, I've lived through.
So everything is based in reality.
Very much based.
Kind of like NYPD Blue or any of those cop shows you see on TV.
Yeah.
We've changed the name to protect the innocent or the guilty, whichever the case may be.
Right.
So just a brief synopsis. Little Yellow Stickies.
Yeah.
Your character got a job because she knew how to email.
That's right. How to use email.
Which, in this day and age, your average second grader...
the kid in the embryo stage knows how to use email.
He's already got an iPhone.
No, I know. It was... most of the people at that location were getting ready for retirement, and they just didn't latch on to the whole email thing at all. They were used to writing things out or doing memos and logging them into logbooks. And I noticed when I worked there that everybody had a computer on their desk. And finally I just said, why don't you guys just press forward? And they go, what does that mean? I said, you just press forward. Just forward to that guy in the next office. So finally doing my job 3 times a day of walking around and making photocopies of everybody's emails and distributing them to everybody and logging it in the logbook, I finally said, this is crazy. And I made myself available to the CEO of the company, and I put together an actual plan, like a written plan, to show him how much he would save in paper costs and toner costs and all. And he was like, the toner costs are what blew him away. He was like, yeah, we make her in charge of marketing communications. So next thing you know, I was in charge of communications for that one division. And because it was part of a giant defense conglomerate, they kept buying other agencies, other divisions. And because I was the least paid person there, I just kept getting rolled into these other ones.
Well, that there is a fact out there. Walmart, of all places, did a study saying 90% of work that gets done in any day in any business will be done by 10% or fewer of the actual workforce. So you were the 10% or fewer, or your character also was...
Could very well be. Although the people that I was working with, obviously they were building things like airport body scanners and some of the other divisions, one of which the divisions was the mercenary group. We had mercenaries. So they were doing stuff, but as far as the running of the daily routine of moving papers around, I was part of that percent. Yeah.
Well, you brought up a very tender subject for me, the body scanners. Usually I don't fit. I have to tell you. But there have been a few occasions where I guess they had them designed for larger people. I go in and I'm in shorts, shoeless, a T-shirt. Anything that I had on me went into that gray bin in the airport. I put up my hands and they're wanding me down. Now, I didn't even have a metal snap on my shorts. And somehow they found something, and I knew if I gave them an attitude, say, what the heck could you possibly find? I was headed right for a cavity search, and I understand that part. That's why I learned to keep my temper when I travel. But there is a huge conspiracy theory, and this is...
Bing, 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 bing. We need that bell. We need that bell.
We need that bell. I do follow, and I do watch a lot of stuff on conspiracy theories, because even though it's a theory, every theory is based in fact. Granted, the data could be skewed. What do you feel about that?
I always get pat down. I would not walk through one of those things. In my book in Little Yellow Stickies, page 220, Jocelyn, the main character who's based on me, her name is Jocelyn. She gets a call from the division somewhere out west, and the guy is asking, can we store these body scanners there? This is before anybody knew what a body scanner was. And she goes, oh, well, we don't have room. We can't do that. We don't have room. He goes, oh, what am I going to do? Israel was going to buy these things, and now they won't. And Jocelyn says, well, why won't they buy them? He goes, because one of the colonels, generals, whoever it was who was at the meeting, the Israeli, had him take his coat and put a gun in the guy's coat pocket. He goes, now stand up in that body scanner, spread your arms, and it became very apparent that you could not see a gun which was black on a black background. You could see it against the person who was a white background. You couldn't see it on the black background. So the Israelis did not buy the body scanners. Meanwhile, those things were sitting in total storage somewhere until, in real life, we had the underwear bomber incident. And when that happened, out rolled these scanners, like, immediately.
Okay. Now, again, body scanners aside, there are a lot of different things that you touch upon in your book, which the theorists, I'm not going to say what type, but the theorists have come up with all sorts of wacky, and some of it, they're pretty close to home. According to your book, though, that your character has seen some pretty amazing stuff and has been dragged into a lot of questionable questionable, I think, is a good word for it. Business meetings. You want to touch upon a few of those, or?
Okay.
Of course, this is all in the book.
Well, in the book, there's a chapter, which is chapter 12, which comes before chapter 13. Chapter 12 is when Jocelyn gets roped into going to this marketing director's meeting, and it's the 1 year later after September 11th, and it's in Virginia, and it's in a hotel, and it's all the division's marketing directors are there, and there's about 60 some odd divisions, so it's a big room at this hotel banquet area, and she's kind of out of place because her boss is supposed to be there, and the boss doesn't want to go for whatever reason. She's there trying to take copious notes for him, and the general who's speaking from the Pentagon, he's listing off all these countries that the U.S. is going to be invading. And Jocelyn, of course, is kind of blown out by this, and she's writing it all down. She can't understand what we'd be doing in Libya or, these places which currently we see it happening right now. And put it this way, I still have that notebook from that meeting.
She, in the book, still has the notebook from that meeting.
No, me, the author, I still have the notebook from that meeting, but the meeting is in that book. So,
of course, fictionalized.
Fictionalized, meaning her name's changed and everybody else's name has changed. But yeah, that was interesting. And when she left, and of course, they had to leave that meeting because there was a fire alarm in the middle of it, and that's when Jocelyn notices that every single hotel on that street is being evacuated. And all these alarms are going off. It's the 1 year anniversary of September 11th, and they're all staring at the Pentagon. And it was shattering because you really were scared that it was going to happen again, that something was up. And at this point, and later in the book, another character tells Jocelyn, no, they wanted it like that, so you'd get back in the game of selling weapons.
Okay, well, why don't we take a break here? This would be a good place to cut it. We're going to leave here on a song from All for Blood, the name of the band, coincidentally. The name of the song is Breach. We'll be back in a minute. You're listening to My Night Out Radio on Rhode Island Free Radio.
Feeling the cold creep up inside. Can't even begin to let others say